Welcome back to Rain Reminders. Remember, this is where your alignment is the goal and where you're always reminded of the Queen within. This is your Soft Life Sisterhood, your audio safe space, and I'm so glad that you're here. So today we are going to briefly discuss about something I touched on last week, and this is about boundaries. So basically today is the healing power of boundaries. What are boundaries? How can you set boundaries? How can they impact your life positively and make you a better woman, a better person? Okay, so with no further ado, let's dive right in to our topic for today. So, one, I want to remind you that boundaries are sacred and they're not harsh. They're sacred lines that protect your peace, energy, and softness. They are not some form of walls or doors with locks that you have to keep on holding tightly with your key on your hand. Okay? Sometimes, and I can say this truly, a lot of us fear setting boundaries because of the fear of criticism. You're afraid about what people will say. You're afraid you might come across as rude, cold, distant, proud. I know we've been there, but in reality, boundaries are just a form of self-love. And when you're rooted in grace, they are healing actually, because you're allowed to say, not right now, or this is not for me. Or you're also allowed to say, you need time to think, that this no longer serves me. That's basically setting boundaries. If, for example, you see your friends indulging in something you're not comfortable with, you actually have the power to say no. You actually have the power to back off and decide to not participate in whatever they're doing. Okay? So, your kind heart doesn't mean you say yes when your soul, deep down your soul is telling you to say no. Okay? Boundaries are just how you honor your becoming. They don't make you difficult, they make you a whole. Okay, point 2. Boundaries are birthplaces. I believe boundaries are where the best parts of you are born, really. Because they create this space where you get to gain clarity, to listen to yourself, to teach others how to respect you, how to either love you better, or also you can also get to walk away if they are not meant for your next chapter. And this cuts across every line. It doesn't have to be only in relationships. It can be friendships, it can be business-wise, it cuts across everywhere. So you're not meant to carry everything, fix everyone, or to be everything to everyone. That's really key, and I'm repeating it. You're not meant to carry everything, fix everyone, or be everything to everyone. Okay, you're not some Messiah or Savior. You're not Jesus, basically. So give yourself permission to check in and ask yourself, where do you feel overwhelmed? Ask yourself, what do I keep doing or allowing that's draining me? What am I tolerating that's costing me my peace? Once you start there, and then you gently begin to adjust those small issues, you will generally see a lot of change, because small steps do count. They really do. Okay. Point 3. Why do boundaries tend to feel hard? Because, truth of the matter, I know it's not always easy setting boundaries. Sometimes there's that sense of guilt that you get to experience, especially when you start making those tough decisions. Yeah. Like you begin to feel like you're abandoning someone, or simply feeling like you don't care. But the truth of the matter is, you're just returning to yourself. You're beginning to pour to yourself, you're beginning to listen to yourself, you're beginning to love yourself better. And boundaries, you can set boundaries with love. You can be soft and firm, but kind and clear. You can honor your heart without having to harm another, really. And with time, you'll see that boundaries don't push love away, they attract real love. Love that respects, understands, and doesn't drain you. In friendships, in relationships, whatever it might be. Okay, so point 4, navigating pushback with grace. So, honestly speaking, from the first time, take it from me, setting boundaries, it's never usually beautiful in the moment. Sometimes the people who benefited from your lack of boundaries will resist that kind of growth that you're going through. You might be called selfish, proud, distant, different. But one thing that should stick with you, it's not your job to shrink back into old patterns so that you can keep others comfortable. No. You're not hard basically means you're healing. You're not mean also translates that you're maturing. And anyone who truly values you will honor the version of you that's choosing peace over people pleasing. And I'm sure you've had this even when you're getting financial tips and advice, and you're listening to a lot of motivational speakers. One thing that comes from them that is common is that people pleasing behavior will definitely not take you anywhere. It's an inhibitor to success, to growth, to everything positive, actually, and beautiful. So, remember, you are not created to pour endlessly from an empty cup. There is no way you can love someone else if you don't love yourself. There is no way you can impact someone's life if you've not impacted your own life. Basically, an empty cup cannot pour into another cup. So let your boundaries speak before you. Let the boundaries speak for you. Literally. Let your peace be your loudest yes. And also, when you set boundaries, stand firm with them. Don't set your boundaries and in a month or two you're back to your old self. You're not going to realize the kind of growth you're after. Okay? So this is a reminder for you to let your softness thrive within your standards, really. Okay? So, if this reminder found you at the right time, take a deep breath and clench your jaw, drop your shoulders, and then whisper this back to yourself. I am allowed to protect my peace. I am allowed to evolve. I am allowed to honor my boundaries without guilt. Okay? So, just remember you deserve relationships that honor your boundaries and not just your beauty. This is your season to choose peace over pressure, alignment over access, and rest over resentment. You're not losing anyone. There are billions and billions of people in this world. You're simply returning to yourself and pouring more to yourself. So to sum up, we've talked about boundaries are sacred and they are not harsh. We also talked about boundaries are birthplaces and why boundaries sometimes tend to feel hard. And we've also talked about navigating the pushback with grace. So that's it for today's episode. Until next time, stay soft and stay grounded. And remember, you reign differently, guys. So, if you loved this episode, please follow the podcast, leave a review, and share it with another soft queen in your life. You can also connect with us on Instagram at softrain_chronicles1. And also you can follow our YouTube channel at softrain_chronicles1. So until next time, keep reigning gently. Bye.